Mekamaru's like hot now or something, and he's also like down horrendous for Miwa, which respect because most of us are. But dude's in fear for his life right now, so he's gonna find a way to contact Gojo. I doubt he's able to, because I really just don't know how he would. So he's gonna have to escape, but that's not likely because we put up a veil thingy, or at least Geto did. So where do we go from here? Maybe he's just stronger than I thought, but I feel like Mahito's really strong, so I doubt that. So where do we go from here, right? Like, where do we go from here? I don't know. There's got to be something, I'd assume. I don't know what he's about to do. He's about to pull something crazy out, though, as he tried to at the end of the last one. If there's no reaction in here, it's because Toho claimed the video. They claim all my videos, so this one's going to get claimed at some point. So if you do want to still see the reaction, just click the link in the description. If anybody has any ideas as well on how you can get around so Toho doesn't claim it. They claim the audio. It's not the video. It's just the audio. Let me know. I've tried changing pitches and adding reverb and doing a whole bunch of other stuff, and none of it's really worked, but I'm not too smart, so maybe somebody else knows. All right, if you like it all, hit the like and subscribe. You mean a lot to me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion. Leave any comments about this episode or series. Let's get going, though, with episode... I think says 31. Are we on 7? The 31st has arrived. Things are about to go down. Was kind of where we get left at. Rip, my boy Mekamaru, didn't really care for you, but you did your thing, and it was pretty dope. The episode is good for setup, I would say. That's essentially what it's trying to do. The entire fight with Mekamaru is to add stakes, to have the people that were close and around him possibly have emotions and things kind of flare up. Seeing these people who possibly took his life and things, you know, because they were close to him. So it adds some more stakes and emotions for them going into this fight that's about to occur. We also get to add and see, I guess, the Mahito's level now, how strong exactly he is, what he's truly capable. We see somebody who appears to be incredibly strong in what Mekamaru was able to do this episode, basically. Channeling years and years of cursed energy here to be able to even try and have a fight on this, and still being absolutely no match and not mattering at all. Mahito kind of just taking this as a breeze, you know, nothing too crazy. The only time that got him was when he pulled out the simple domain, something that he wasn't expecting at all. Same thing with Geto. He wasn't expecting that either. So it was a nice little thing for them to see. And that's the third thing that the episode really sets up, is the idea of those. That's something that's going to be used for us to kind of know going into this. As I said before, my knowledge when it comes to the like energy and techniques and, you know, the domains, I don't know. I'm it's very base level. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. That seemed pretty simple. The easiest way I can kind of narrow it down is basically, you have your domain expansions, which you're screwed if you get put into it. But if somebody else can do it while you're in it, and theirs is just way stronger and more powerful, you're done for. And there's absolutely nothing that you can do about that. So when we end up getting Mekamaru put into it, he's basically done for. That is unless you have a simple domain that you can kind of do here, which will cause, I don't know, something happens and you can attack the dude and it causes the domain to break, and then it allows you to kind of escape and do whatever you got to do. Didn't really work for him, you know. Feel bad, the dude really thought he had a chance and it definitely didn't. But, you know, shit happens. Interesting way for them to, I guess, at least approach this in this arc. And the things that they're setting up there, especially in the first half here, definitely showcase what they're going to be focusing on, I guess, primarily, or the things for you to kind of use as fuel for some of the characters going into the arc, and also things to keep in the back of your mind about the fighting system and the way that that's going to kind of evolve and work within this this arc specifically, which I think is a great way for them to introduce that, instead of making it just like a boring lecture and going about it, having this stuff kind of arise and occur through an actual fight between two people is a really cool and interesting thing. The animation was really fucking stellar for the most part on it. I didn't, there were some cuts, like I think there was one, they were in like the forest, like when they were going through and they were jumping through like the trees or like some shit. I'll point it out when I go back through the episode here. But there was like a couple that they were doing like that, and just, they were kind of like flashing like to the moments. Like it didn't feel, it wasn't smooth, right? Like it definitely felt like choppy. And then there were some moments that to me felt like it was a little bit hard to kind of focus and understand exactly what's going on because of the way that they're kind of like flashing through everything instead of like making it a bit more smooth, which is just like a personal thing. Like I just notice it, and to me it doesn't flow as well as some other things were throughout the episode or as other things I've seen before, which makes me kind of not like those specific moments. But like 90% of the rest of the fight was fantastic, so there was nothing for me to say or complain there. And who knows, on a rewatch here when I go back to edit and see all this, I might not have the same opinion, so who knows. Yeah, I might take back what I just said. Now going through it, when they're going through the forest and he's in the bird form and the way that they're doing and kind of going through the camera, I don't know if I feel that same way. I think it was just me in the moment trying to process everything that was happening, so it was coming off like a little weird to me. But now that I can actually sit down and analyze like why they were doing it and like how exactly it turned out, I don't think I necessarily have a problem with that anymore. So I will take that back. And apologize. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, this is all just a fight. I don't know the animation stuff. I'm not going to add much on that. I'm not going to be able to. So it isn't really worthy of a discussion on my end here for anything. But definitely some good moments and some high intensity things. When he does his domain expansion, it's really fucking cool. I believe this is the thing from the OP then, so I think that's, you know, that explains itself. And that's pretty cool. But he uses like absolutely everything, and then he is able to break through and kind of surprise some people. Like I talked about before, Mahito makes some really fucking creepy faces and does some, you know, there are a lot of bird changing in different forms and stuff like that. It was really cool. They also did a really good job of use of color in moments that are supposed to be darker, just, you know, because it's nighttime, just red being like for the blood or just whatever the environment kind of looks like, but being able to use different abilities and mix in colors. I think there was like something where there were a whole bunch of like fucking like beams or some shit like shooting through the sky, and it was different because they were all different colors, and it worked really well. I mean, even here using like the blue and the cursed energy and everything, it's pretty good for the way that they can splash in different colors here and there to really liven and brighten things up a little bit. The Miwa moment is something to kind of give you that attachment and confirmation almost of something that's supposed to happen, a promise between two people essentially. We're going to be able to meet and actually see each other in person and get closer and grow closer together, something that he definitely would have wanted. I'll come and see you one day, create a promise that's never going to be able to come about, and then you get to see kind of the aftermath of it afterwards. It's a good way to do it, but Mechamaru is not a character that I personally feel like I had any care or relation to, and I don't know if many people did. Maybe there's a whole fandom out there I'm not aware of. So for me, it doesn't really hit or do much. And then the entirety of this episode, the remaining, is to set up what is coming next for the Shibuya arc specifically. We set up with a lot of different people. Some I don't believe we've seen, and some I do believe we've seen. So I mean, I don't know if it matters too much if we have seen them, because they clearly weren't that important. To the point that I can't really remember it. And then they use this to kind of set you up and show you the teams and the branches and everything that we have set up here. I don't know if they showed everyone off because there wasn't everybody that we're aware of, or if they just didn't send everybody because they weren't around, or they don't believe that they were going to be as useful, or they couldn't help. Like, I don't know the circumstances and stuff, because we didn't see anything leading up to this entire week. They just kind of placed us right in here. So maybe we'll open up next time being able to see what kind of led up and the things that people were thinking, you know, when creating these strategies or trying to set things up, and why they decided to branch off into these teams. But then again, I guess they didn't know that all of this was coming and what exactly is about to come, right? So that might not make any sense where I'm going off on that. Basically, though, we got Team Nanami over here. We got Team Zenin over here as well. Okay, good. I was going to just point out that they were both listed as higher grades that I felt like they should have, but they're under evaluation, so it hasn't gone through yet, which makes plenty sense. We got another team that doesn't actually have a team name that consists of 2 members, which is also pretty cool. So we're just sending a lot of our top guys, our grade 1 guys are basically out here. The Panda conversation's pretty cool too. Them talking about the idea that they don't really give a fuck about people, about the people who don't have any cursed energy, just the humans out here, right? And that's why they all got sucked up and dragged away. I'm assuming they all got killed like in that moment, right? And that's why nobody they don't end up caring. So everybody remaining within the circle here, who are also going to die probably at some point as we are entering on the insides of it, are all the essential chosen ones here that things aren't going to go well. They also have like this condition, and they're being brainwashed essentially to speak for and want Gojo to kind of arrive. At this moment's fantastic, where the guy's just like yelling for him, and his friend's like, "Who's that?" He goes, "I don't know, dude," but he just could just ask for him. Actually, kind of stupid, but funny as hell. And then Gojo ends up arriving at 2031, and that sets us up for the most part what we got going forward. Sorry, there's not much I feel like for me to really go into and discuss in depth here about the way that they're kind of setting things up and the way things are going to go. And I have a strong feeling that's going to be the same case for the rest of this arc. Maybe rather short, but who knows how eventful and how much we really get into it. Specifically, I do want to talk about just expectations, I guess, going into the arc. And I've said before that they are extremely high, and I've thought that that was going to be the case just based on everything that I see, manga readers and stuff like that. Unfortunately, like, you can't stay away from things, which kind of sucks. So like, not saying I've been spoiled, or what I believe to have been spoiled on a few things. I guess there's no real confirmation until I see things, and like, I don't know if I misread things and stuff. And I have said that, so I'm going into it with that in mind. But more so, I mean the idea of like, every time I'm seeing like a tweet or something, or like a post like anywhere about it, everybody's just like, oh, people have no idea what they're in store for. Oh, it just like, and then they just say things like that, and then it's like, when you say things like that, people know what they're in store for. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know anything. And then when people start saying, you know, oh, this is just the start, it's just like, well, what the fuck do you think that's going to mean? Right? Like, so it's almost like, you know, exactly what's going to come. Like, I don't know why people speak like that. And it's really, really annoying. I get it. Manga readers are just trying to, you know, show their excitement and be like, hey, this is, you know, really fucking good, or they're very excited for what's kind of to come. But it's just the way, the phrasing and the way that you choose your words and stuff, and specifically when you say certain things, like after certain episodes or based on certain things, you should be a bit more careful. All I'm gonna say with the things that, you know, you say and the way that you kind of present them and say them. Like, it's just, I don't know. Unless the people you're talking to or directing your things at are completely oblivious to everything, like, it's pretty obvious what you're meaning and what you're getting at and what's going to come at some point. So it's a little weird. I don't know. Sorry for my little rant there, but I don't understand it sometimes. I've just personally never like been a person who's like read a manga beforehand and then like gone elsewhere and then like try to tell people like that they don't know what they're about to get. Like, the worst I believe I've ever done is like on a show be like, oh, this is like the best arc of the series or something. Like, I've said that, but I don't like give any specifics, or I don't try and like lead into anything or like say it like in a way that can definitely be taken another way, or based on other context clues within the same conversation, or what just happened in an episode, or where like somebody's at like within a series, right? Like, I don't try and like lead people to believe certain things are going to happen, even if I'm doing it unintentionally. So it's just like, I don't know. It's weird. I feel like just when other people do that. Anyways, sorry again for the rant. I feel like subscribe to it to me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion. Leave in the comments with us every series. I'll be back for episode 8 next week. You guys have a good one now. Peace.